Let me begin first of all and share with you the following statement from the board. We understand a few RIPON children have unfortunately been diagnosed with different forms of cancer. While the board and the administration empathizes with and support these children and their families in their recovery, there has been a raised concern that the cellular phone tower at Weston Elementary School is somehow directly related to their illnesses. Recently, a few citizens have suggested that RIPON children should no longer participate in public education wherever cell towers are present. While these parents' fear of cancer is understandable, the fact remains that there is no evidence that cell towers have any link to causing cancer in humans. Cell towers are pervasive throughout all communities in the United States and the world at large for many decades. The district, however, has directed that independent tests be performed by a state of California certified electrical engineer, validating that this particular cell tower is performing within the guidelines established as safe by current government and global standards. These tests have shown that this cell tower is operating safely. Secondly, there have also been some discussions as to whether the small income derived from rental of this cell tower space to the district is somehow biasing the district against those people in the community who wish the tower be removed. The district has responded by confirming that the income from this cell tower is negligible, and the district has also requested that the cellular phone company relocate the tower as soon as possible. However, please hold on. However, it should be noted that approximately 10 years ago, the district, before any of the current board members or administration here, entered into a 25-year contract with the cell phone company, which requires it to honor the lease for this tower location. There is no legal contractual basis on which the district can demand the cell phone company remove the tower. However, we are working together with them to come to a mutual resolution. Okay. Let me now share with you, by board policy, the basis for public comments. Members of the public may address the board on non-agenda items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Please fill out a speaker card available at the entrance. I receive those. Speakers may be called in the order that requests are received or grouped by subject area. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, and the total time allotted for discussion on any one item shall not exceed 20 minutes. When you are recognized, please state your name and then proceed with your presentation. By law, the board is allowed to take action only on items on the agenda. The Brown Act prohibits board members from discussing non-agenda items at board meetings. The board may, at its discretion, refer a matter to district staff or calendar the issue for future discussion. Now, for items on the agenda, a person wishing to be heard by the board shall first be recognized by the president of the board and shall then proceed to comment as briefly as the subject permits. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each item, and the board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. With that understood, I would like to call our first speaker to the podium over here, and Monica Bernal. Thank you.
Hi. Before I get started, I would really like to, before that timer goes, I would really like to request that we somehow make room. The whole community has graciously came down here and supported this topic, and so I would like them to be able to hear and be a part of this conversation. If we could like scoot up and come into the rows and invite everybody in, because I know there's parents out there with children who are affected by cancer, and they would really like to be a part of this.
sit on the floor up there?
Can
Okay,
people
we'll
sit?
give them just another minute to come in and stand in the back. Okay, thank you, Monica. Would you begin?
Yes. I honestly had a lot prepared, but after hearing your presentation, I'm really, really discouraged. I don't know how board members can sit up here and say that a cellular phone tower does not cause any cancer or cause any damage when clearly nobody up here has experience in that. So to tell the community and people who go to school at Weston and enroll their kids and sit under that radiation every single day for 9 months out of the year that it is safe is absolutely ridiculous. We have talked to doctors, we have talked to scientists. It is spread across the entire country that this is an ongoing problem. A recent study from the National Toxicology Program from 2019 has shown clear evidence that this is related to brain tumors and heart tumors and kidney tumors. Coincidentally, that is everything that is going on at Weston. Not to mention, for adults, it's breast cancer. The only 3 staff that were affected at Weston have breast cancer. So the evidence is out there, and for the district to completely ignore that, and not only ignore it, but tell the community that it's safe, blows my mind. It is absolutely out of control. It is not safe. We have done years and years and years and years and years of research now. And we have talked to doctors directly, oncologists, surgeons, pediatricians, doctors over at UCSF that said, do not let your kid go back to that school. It is not safe. So please don't spread that news. An FCC standard that you guys are falling behind from 23 years ago. 23 years ago when it was 2G. That's just crazy. That is not, this is 4G. And I don't know if anybody's aware because it doesn't seem that there's much knowledge about the tower, but there's now a WiMAX on top of that cell tower. I don't know if you guys are aware that that was installed there, but that covers Wi-Fi across the entire town of Ripon. It's a station base for Wi-Fi. So not only is that a cell tower, now it's a WiMAX cell tower. And so we have people looking into that right now because that shouldn't have been added to the cell tower. The city council, we came to the meeting last month, and they were in agreement with us that cell towers present a health concern for this community and are fighting with us to prevent 5G from coming into Ripon. They actually asked for our information so they can write a note to Congress to deter 5G from coming to Ripon. Their lawyer wrote up a form to send to Congress, and it said we highly discourage cell towers within 500 feet of schools. So how is Ripon City Council saying that they discourage that for many reasons, and we all know why, but then Weston has one sitting within 10 feet of the kindergarten classroom? I mean, there's just a complete, it's just denial. Like, this is crazy. And we will continue to fight, and we will continue to encourage school be missed, because this is not okay.
Kyle Prime went to Weston Elementary. He was diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2015. We have spoken to our pediatrician. Our pediatrician has explained to us that he was born with cells, as all of your children are born with cells. These cells are replicated, they are then replaced by adult cells. Environmental impacts make these cells turn into cancer. The only environmental impact that has been associated with all 4 children that have now been diagnosed with cancer is that cell tower. Not only that, but we also came in to have the cell tower tested. Your state tester, Mr. Bill Hammett, I believe is his name, who is associated with the Verizon cell company. I don't think that that's a fair testing. We brought somebody in who was unbiased. We were met at the door with this man. What was he doing there? Why was he there when the public was trying to get full knowledge? Was he trying to impede on our investigation? Was he trying to deter us from getting the readings that we were getting? I had to actually physically ask him, what are you doing? Why are you sitting here talking to Mr. Strickland about the way that our guy, who we hired to come in, we do not know this man, it is what he does for a living, he is certified just as your guy is certified, only he is not associated with the cell phone company. We met him at the door with Mr. Strickland. I'm not sure what you were trying to prove or what you were trying to scare us into, but it did not work. The readings were very clear. That cell phone tower is causing health issues at that school. And 2 more cases have been diagnosed since the last time that we were here. Mrs. Robinson, I really would like to have your full-on attention because you were here the last time. The entire time that we were trying to talk to you and give you the information, you are an educated woman. You should know the facts that we have given are scientific research, and it is clear facts. And now you have 2 more cancer victims on your hands. I hope that you sleep well at night, because if we have to come back here, these are our friends, and we will bring more. And we will make sure that these people do not go to school on the day that you guys have these. If that's what we have to do to pull money out of your pocket, I'm glad that you decided to go ahead and team up with the cell phone company and do whatever it is that you need to do. In my opinion, that school needs to be shut down until that thing is removed. We cannot have another cancer case in this town. Do you understand how many cancer cases have come from around that area within 1 mile radius of that school? Do you have any idea? We can provide you the documentation. It will not let you sleep at night, trust me. We have done our research. We have talked to the experts. We have talked to our oncologists. The diseases are being caused by environmental effects, and again, the only thing that is common amongst the 4 of them is that they go to your school. Something has to be done. And if it's not the cell phone tower, if it's people out there who think that the cell phone tower is not causing this cancer, then what is it that the school board is doing to test the water, the soil, whatever needs to be tested to make sure that our children no longer get sick? You have never looked at a child, ask you, am I going to die because I have cancer? Your child has never looked you in the face and said that to you. And the day that that happens to any of you, you will understand where I am coming from. To be blocked from the Facebook page of Colony Oak or at Weston, whenever all we were trying to do was educate parents and give them the knowledge that the school board refuses to give them, that's a slap in our face. We are not against the staff at Weston. We are not against the principal at Weston. We are part of that family. We still consider ourselves part of that family. It is our obligation to educate these parents because you are not willing to do that. I would like this to be on the next agenda item, and I would like this to be continued an agenda item until that tower is removed.
I piggyback on everything that Kelly and Monica just said, but I would also like to add that the staff at Weston needs to stop telling the kids that the tower is not causing cancer. That is not their place to tell those kids that. Leave that to the parents because you don't know. Your study that you want to throw at us every time we ask questions from the American Cancer Institute is outdated and has nothing to do with the technology that is at that school today. There is not enough research back from 3G and 4G to tell for you to say that that is safe. Those frequency waves are tremendously different than the 2G that tower may have started out with. The effects on the human body are exponentially, they're horrible, the damage that it causes. So please tell your staff not to tell the kids that. It is wrong.
Thank you, Ms. Pope.
I'm Shane Pope. I wasn't planning on speaking. I was asked while I was at work today to do so. I have to disagree with one of your opening statements that cell towers don't cause any sort of problems in the human body. Reason I know that is I spent the last 21 years of my life building telecommunication systems. I'm solely 100% in charge right now of building a 5G network for my company in Sacramento. So I know what the effects are of RF and microwave does to people. We take tremendous safety measures every day when we're working around those systems, so we don't get put in harm's way. Over the last 21 years, and currently, I spent 22 years as a member of active duty and active reserve working on F-18s, and we took the same measures whenever we spun up the radar on aircraft. They took the same measures aboard ship whenever they spun up the radar to do maintenance on it. Nobody was in front of it, nobody was around it. There's a reason that companies take measures for safety. And it's all predicated on the toll it takes on the human body. We're going from 4G to 5G, and they're even starting to build 10G sites. Think about that. Whenever you get up into that bandwidth, everything's more condensed and it's more powerful, period. A 4G signal can cover 45 miles. That's a long way. I have a vested interest. My stepdaughter goes to WESTON. You know, before this, I had 2 kids that went through RIPON schools. I have one who's in high school, and it's a concern. We all live in RIPON for a reason, because this is like Mayberry here, right? There's not a whole lot of towns around Northern California period, like RIPON. There's a few, but not a lot. There's a reason everyone chooses to live here, because it's safe. There's not a whole lot of cities where you can go around and see kids running all around town, up and down the streets, like you can in RIPON. We expect that our kids should be safe in school, period. That's your job. 100%. That's pretty much all I have to say.
About both towers, at the high school and the elementary school, but I also want to talk about just wireless technology in general in the schools, and I do not believe it belongs in the schools at all. We have kids on Chromebooks all day, we have iPads, we have Wi-Fi routers. They're on when they're not in use, and I think that's senseless. I mean, kids absorb 3 to 10 times the amount of radiation that adults do. I mean, does the FCC say that? Did they study that? Did they study all day in school? Probably not. 27 years ago, probably not, because there were no Wi-Fi routers in schools 27 years ago. So, you know, we're behind in this country. Belgium, France, Australia, Russia, the United Kingdom, India, Finland, Turkey, Canada, and the European Union have all taken measures to reduce children's radiation exposure. They're banning it in child care centers, they're banning it in schools. Even Oregon has a couple bills on the docks right now to limit children's exposure in classrooms until it can be proven safe, which we know it's not. So that's not gonna happen. So I'm proposing, I went to the PFC meeting at Colony Oak last Tuesday, and I asked them if they had done any research or you know, they knew about the dangers of these devices in the classrooms, and they all said no. So I passed out some information and just started the discussion, and I would like to do the same thing with you guys. There's some simple fixes that we can do in the classrooms to make it safer. For instance, my son's in 1st grade, and the teacher said they only use the iPads for about an hour a week. So why is their Wi-Fi router on for all of those hours? It's just kind of silly to me. The smart boards are hardwired, which is fantastic. And I think that's how everything should be in the school. It's a faster connection, it's a safer connection. There's adapters for all the Chromebooks and all the iPads. You know, it's crazy. It's getting out of control. The wireless frenzy is out of control. And this is the first generation that's gonna see the effects. It's cumulative over years. So we're not gonna see it until later. And it's just terrible. And I would just request that to start that conversation with you guys, and if there's some fixes that we can do, maybe limiting times on Chromebooks per week, that would be fantastic. Maybe we could put it on the agenda to talk about. So that's it.
Thank you,
Thank
Vanessa.
you.
Our last speaker is Diane Gillis.
Hi there, I'm back. It's Diane Giles.
Thank
And
you
my
for
grandson
correcting me.
is Tyler Giles. He goes to Colony Oak. He is friends with Kyle Prime, and we're friends with his mom Kelly, his dad Joe, and his brother Wyatt. Just trying to put faces to this situation. We're also friends with the Frooleys, Monica, Kyle, Mason, and Kelsey. Kyle and Mason, obviously, are in different stages, but they both were diagnosed with cancer at Weston. I want to respectfully disagree with your opening statement, because when I hear you say that cell towers don't cause cancer, I feel like you're saying cigarettes don't cause cancer, because they said that way back when, and it's obvious that they do cause cancer. So I just want to be on record saying that. The Primes and Forellis have been through hell, let's face it. This has been their worst nightmare. But because they're good people, they've tried to help the community, help the students at Weston, help the parents, help all of us. They could have just buried their heads in the sand and done nothing. More and more cases are gonna come up. They just did, 2 more cases. It's scary. And so we have questions. We need to do more research. I guess I would ask you, do you care? Do you care to find out if the cell tower causes cancer? Do you have a vested interest? Do you have kids here in Ripon or grandkids here in Ripon like I do? What are you doing? You have to do more. What can you do? What can we do? Can we work together? Can we solve this? If it's a cell tower, get it out. If it's the water, let's clean it. We love this town. It's like the Valley's best kept secret. We moved here because it's such a tight-knit community. It's quaint. It's we thought perfect. We want to keep it that way, but this is a huge issue. It's not going to go away. And you know, my heart goes out to these kids. I wanted to do something, so I started a little group of women. It's called Dining for Hope. We meet once a month. Instead of going out, we have a potluck and we donate that money to these families. We came up with our first $500. We're presenting it next week to one of the families. And now we have 2 more families we need to raise money for. We want to shut down Dining for Hope because there wouldn't be any more kids with cancer. So please do what you can do to fix this. It can be fixed. We have faith in you that you can fix it. Thank you.
We're now going to move on to the next agenda item, and I will share with you that the board has heard your comments. We will go through and take that under advisement. We'll take a look at some areas of questions that you've raised. I personally have been in contact with the San Joaquin County epidemiologist concerning this, and that discussion and those discussions will continue because it does affect our community. So thank you for your comments. Okay, folks, we'll take about a 2-minute